Hello everybody, and welcome to Tommageddon, a show where all different kinds of multimedia will meet their day of reckoning. I'm your host, Tom. Gather round, kiddos, and shut your face holes. It's story time. See, back in the day, there used to be a dollar store nearby my house that sold old kung fu films in packs of 2 for $1. I bought all of them. Now, these aren't your standard modern-day kung fu films like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Legend of Drunken Master. Oh, no. These are the old ones from the late 70s and early 80s, full of choppy editing, poorly dubbed English lines, and shot on the best potato they could afford. They say if you give a monkey a typewriter, it will eventually produce Shakespeare, and the storylines from some of these feel like they must have been the early drafts from that experiment. One of these films that stood out to me the most over the years has been
Duel of the Top.
Presented by Joseph Lai and Thomas Tang, it's
The Duel of the Top.
a film by a company called Asso Asia, starring a bunch of actors I can't find in a Google search, unless it's in association with this cinematic masterpiece.
Duel of the Top.
The trailer promises this to be the best kung fu film of the year. Just listening to this trailer gets me all hyped up.
A young man with everything to lose and little to gain takes up the cause of a dying Buddhist monk.
I mean, who doesn't love?
A story with compassion and brutal wanton violence.
So let's dive right into...
Duel of the Top.
So the basic rundown of the plot here is that
Everyone is trying to stop him. Everyone is trying to delay him in the completion of his mission. But nothing will stop him. Nothing will prevent. The Duel of the Top.
Alright, I'll stop using clips from the trailer. Except this one!
Duel of the Top.
Okay, I'm being serious now. The story begins with a group of Cantonese monks taking possession of a holy Buddhist scripture. They're attacked on the road by some bandits dressed as monks from the temple they've just left who claim to be trying to retrieve the texts that were just stolen.
We are students of that Buddhist temple, with orders to recover the scriptures you stole.
The head monk calls,
Bullshit.
and they fight. The bandit leader kills the shit out of all the monks with the most powerful move in all of Kung Fu. But the leader escapes and makes his way onto a ferry captained by our main hero, Wong. This woman here, that somehow everyone mistakes for a man at first, pays Wong to care for the old priest, who tells him about the stolen scriptures, and then tells him they were stolen back by the monks who gave them to him in the first place, even though when the bandit told him that, he called it out as
Bullshit.
So Wong decides to help the monk, because they're both from Canton, I suppose. He breaks into the Buddhist temple and starts kicking the shit out of monks. Eventually the head monk shows up, breaks up the fight, and asks Wong,
And why did you come here so late at night?
"Oh, hold the fuck up, movie. Stop right there. It's clearly day out, with the sun obviously shining. You've lost me. Suspension of disbelief right out the window. Review's over. Everyone pack up and go home." So Wong explains himself in the choppiest way possible. The head monk tells him what's up.
There is no reason we should have stolen those Buddhist scriptures from our friend from Canton, to whom we had just given them.
He figures the book must have been stolen by Dai Qiang, a former Buddhist who wanted the scriptures because they contain several volumes of ancient kung fu secrets, known as the Dharma Book of Changes.
At last, it's mine!
Wong decides that he's going to go and get the scriptures back from Dai Qiang, and the head monk tells him that Dai Qiang is too badass and he shouldn't throw his life away. That doesn't really change Wong's mind, but he does decide to get some rest first, since it's so late at night! Turns out one of the monks in the temple is a spy for Dai Qiang, and he tries to murder Wong before he can set out on his quest, rather unsuccessfully. He rushes back to his true master to alert him of Wong's plans and is subsequently poisoned for his efforts with some
See, it's from India.
Dai Qiang has a meeting with the generals, and the way the scene is edited, I can't for the life of me tell if he's called this meeting later on, or if these people were just sitting around at the table waiting for him while he poisoned the monk in the other room. He tells them a man from Canton, i.e. Wong, is coming to challenge him.
That is why I've called you all here. I don't want to soil my hands on this scum of no account.
Why don't you take care of him yourself?
Bitch! He just explained that! So the generals assure Dai Qiang that they'll take care of Wong.
You need not foresee a problem. He can. Are you really quite sure?
We're all extremely confident. We've all of us sworn allegiance to you.
Good. Right.
I don't even know what's going on here anymore. Let's just move on. Wong sets off on his journey, and from here out, there's a definite pattern to this film. Wong walks down the road, runs into some of Dai Kang's men, and kicks the shit out of them. For a while, he teams up with Chin Chin, the woman that somehow everyone mistakes for a man, who we find out is a pretty badass martial artist in her own right. And by team up, I mean Wong just decides to start following her because they happen to be heading in the same direction. He's also the only person in all of China who seems to be able to see through her clever disguise. They walk down the road together, meet some of Dai Kang's men, and kick the shit out of them. After a while, they stay in some kind of temple, and Chin Chin gives her tragic backstory about how her parents were murdered by Dai Kang, and she's seeking revenge. Then when Wong leaves her alone so she can change her clothes, she smashes her way out the back of the building and escapes. Wong must be really unobservant if he didn't hear the sound of Chin Chin punching her way through the wooden trellis. Ow, my hand! Damn! Shit, okay. Didn't work. Let me try that again. Ow! I think I hit a stud! Dai Kang finds out that Chin Chin and Wong are traveling together and guesses that she could be.
She might well be the daughter of Chin Man.
Really?
Who I killed a few years back.
His daughter assures him that she'll take care of the both of them.
Both of them will have to pass by my encampment. So I'll...
I understand your plan completely.
Well, I sure as hell don't! You've explained nothing! They also reveal that Dai Kang has a second daughter named Don Don, who's married to a man named Noodle?
Noodles.
Or Noodle.
Noodle.
Sounds more like Noodle, so that's what I'm calling him. She ran away from home in raging Noodle, and Dai Kang's older daughter warns that unless Noodle is appeased, there will be trouble. This leads to my favorite line from Dai Kang here, which is saying something, because this guy is a goldmine of hilarity. It's a bit choppy, but bear with me here as I play it in its entirety, because god damn, it's beautiful.
He will not dare complain. I have the Dharma, Book of Changes, and I will murder him. I must learn the techniques that are given in that secret book. Well, how is your sister?
Oh, well, she's fine, thanks.
You bucket of bullshit!
Alright, jeez, man. I mean, she's been going through the divorce, but I think she's handling it well. Oh, you think that's funny, do you? Well, look here, you son of a bitch!
It's from India.
What, divorce? We cut back to Wong as he walks down the road some more and finds a random flute. He also comes across some women being harassed by bandits, leaps into action, kicks the shit out of the bandits, and throws them all in the river. And we find out that one of the women he rescued is Dai Kang's daughter, and that this whole thing is a setup. She invites Wong back to her mansion to repay him, by which I mean murder, and it turns out that Dan Dan is staying at the mansion. She recognizes Wong as the man who saved her life. Yeah, I was confused by that at first too, so let me explain. Earlier in the movie, there's a scene where Wong finds a woman unconscious in the river. He brings her to a random hut to recover, and while he goes to get her medicine, she disappears. That woman was Dan Dan. But the scene came and went so fast that by this point, I had completely forgotten about it. Anywho, the older sister tells Wong that only women live in the mansion because the men were all murdered by...
Bei Qiang.
Did you just forget your dad's name?
Bei Qiang?
I mean, even Wong is confused. The women prepare Wong a bath, which he takes with his pants on because nudity is a no-go in this film, apparently. The older sister has a maid bringing a bowl of poisoned incense. Now that's a clever plan. Wait for the poison to take effect and dispose of him nice and quiet. Without a straw, or you could just drop a spike trap on his head. Sure, let's go with that. No kill like overkill, and while we're at it, send in the bandits from earlier to start a kung fu fight in your bathroom. It seems like a big part of your plan hinged on Wong never looking up, because there's no way you're hiding that thing. Where would you even get something like that?
It's from India.
Eventually, the poison starts working and Wong is captured, but Dan Dan decides to free him because, I guess she's in love with him now? The older sister and the bandits try to recapture him, but in the confusion, the older sister is hit with a bandit's axe, and she dies without her name being mentioned even once!
Master, your daughter Chung has been killed by the Cantonese guy. What? My daughter dead?
Wait, her name is Chung? Huh. And Wong escapes with Dan Dan. Dan Dan gives her tragic backstory about how her father married her off to Noodle, an old kung fu master, to cement an alliance, and she wasn't thrilled with the idea, so she ran away, and that's why Wong found her in the river. She starts taking her clothes off, and we jump to a scene where Noodle confronts Dai Qiang about his runaway bride, believing he was cheated. Dai Qiang, in return, accuses Noodle of communicating with Wong.
Why the hell would I communicate?
They agree that Noodle will capture Wong to prove his innocence and recover his bride, and Noodle sets off to fight Wong at the
Ting Tai restaurant. You are the man from Canton.
I do enjoy how all of these people immediately pick Wong out of a crowd, even though the only thing they know about him is that he's from Canton. They get into a pretty epic showdown. For the first time, we see Wong actually lose a fight and get rescued by Chin Chin, who I guess just happens to be passing through. She grabs Noodle's head with her feet and hovers? Gravity doesn't work like that! And Wong manages to throat punch Noodle. Wong and Chin Chin team up again and start making their way down the road when they run into more of Dai Qiang's men.
Cantonese man, you came here very easily, but you won't leave that way.
Up yours.
A man with a weird polearm and Dai Qiang's right-hand man. Wong and polearm guys square off in a battle and... Wait a sec. Is that Western music? Yeah, because that fits.
We must kung fu fight.
Wong kills off Spear Guy, and then a man claiming to be Dai Qiang steps out of the woods.
What's that? Bei Qiang.
Wait... I'm pretty sure through most of the movie he's been called Dai Qiang. But now it's Bei Qiang? I mean, I guess if anyone would know, it's his daughter.
Bei Qiang.
But I honestly can't tell if this is an inconsistency with the movie, or if the vocal lines are just so garbled it comes out sounding like Dai Qiang most of the time. For simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna keep calling him Dai Qiang. Anyway, Wong and Chin Chin fight Red Shirt and not Dai Qiang, and surprisingly, doesn't go well. Just as Wong is about to be killed, Dan Dan appears out of nowhere, tells Wong that his opponent wasn't really Dai Qiang, and is accidentally stabbed, allowing Wong and Chin Chin to escape in the confusion. Dai Qiang is obviously not pleased. Chin Chin decides one lost battle is enough for her to give up on her dreams of revenge, and now she wants Wong to give up his fight against Dai Qiang, settle down and have kids with her.
I would like to have your baby.
Wong tells her he can't give up the fight, and they get to boning. And in the morning, she tells him that she's stolen his kung fu powers? She literally sucked the kung fu out of his dick! Wong finally reveals his tragic backstory, because apparently everyone in China has one of those, about how his father was seen as a corrupt official, and if he can return the scriptures, he can clear his family name, or something like that. And Chin Chin gives him his kung fu back by rubbing his shoulders. Because that's how kung fu works. And now it's time for the final epic showdown! Wong leaps the wall into Dai Qiang's mansion and fights Red Shirt again, this time strangling him with his own braid. He enters the building where he and Dai Qiang finally meet face to face. It's time for another one of Dai Qiang's fantastic lines.
You bucket of bullshit! Say your Buddhist prayers!
Dai Qiang slides back through the wall on his chair like a Bond villain, and Wong is dropped through a trapdoor where he's attacked by... the fuck? Flying snakes that chirp like birds? I guess these super rare flying Chinese bird snakes are the pets of Dai Qiang's 4 bodyguards. And while Wong deals with them, Dai Qiang practices some... karate. Finally, Wong makes his way to Dai Qiang's chamber, and it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. The...
Duel of the Tough.
Wong and Dai Qiang start off trading blows, but it's not long before Chin Chin joins the fight. It's a pretty cool fight. There's good choreography over a range of different locations, and it appears to be a pretty even battle. Until finally, Wong and Chin Chin finish off Dai Qiang with... whatever this bullshit is. And that's it. That's the movie. Dai Qiang dies and they roll the credits without wrapping anything up. Though to be fair, that's how a lot of these old kung fu movies end. I gotta say, this film is bad. The editing is choppy, the actors are terrible, half the characters are played by the same guy, and the voices get so garbled I've been calling the main villain the wrong name the entire review, apparently.
Bullshit.
The choreography is alright, and you can get a laugh out of watching people in the background waiting their turn and waving their arms like they're practicing, but there are also moments where even if you're not very knowledgeable about fighting, you can tell that Wong should have died. A friend of mine came up with a theory, and I'm inclined to agree with him here. I'm fairly certain this movie was released in China as a comedy, and the people who dubbed it in English thought it was supposed to be super serious. The English cast made an obvious effort to match their lines to the characters' lip movement, which leads to some great gems like,
Why the hell would I communicate?
but it also leads to very choppy delivery.
The Buddhist scriptures you stole from Haiyan.
What was that?
You stole.
It's like they hired on William Shatner as a voice coach. I can't recommend this film to anyone, unless you're insane like me and get a great deal of enjoyment out of hokey kung fu films. For anyone else, it's cinematic cancer, and probably pure agony to sit through. Your kid acting up, sit them down to a showing of
Duel of the Top.
a friend invite you out to eat, then stick you at the tab, force them to watch
Duel of the Top.
somebody commit murder, 100 consecutive showings of
Duel of the Top.
Anyway, I've been Tom, and thanks for watching Tommageddon.